Hey guys, hope you're having a great day today. Today is Friday. Happy Friday morning to you. I hope that your morning is going well. My morning is going great. Today is going to be a true Gather Your Fragment Friday, and that's it. Last week you had a little bit of everything because that was the way my life is, but today I woke up and I'm like, what am I gonna make today? What kind of food am I gonna do? And I had to think about our weekend, and we have things going on where different kids are gonna be out of the house at different times. And so I was like, what kind of food can I make? And so sat down and I was like, wow, I actually have a good list. So I went shopping. So I have food, obviously, that I purchased specifically for some meals, but I'm also going to gather a few things, meaning like taking from different spots things that need to be eaten up just to create some meals. So today I'm going to start off by making our family's, it used to be our favorite homemade bread. It's been a long time since I've made it from scratch. A long time. It's been a long time. I haven't made homemade bread in a long time. I did it in my little bread machine. Awesome, great. Sometimes it's easier in life. But I'm like, someone had posted on my blog, because I still have things on my blog and I have all my old recipes, not old, all our family's favorite recipes. I don't really add new ones to it. I should, but it's just the time and just not doing it. So most of the time I'm filming, so I don't really get to the blog to fill in new food things. But I was on, someone mentioned about our bread. They're like, we made this bread and it's our family. We really enjoy it. And I was like, I need to make that bread again. So that's when I went to the store and bought our whole wheat flour here, and I thought, you know what, today would be a good day to make some homemade bread. So I was on there looking, and I was like, okay, we used to make it, and it was way more. I think, I'm trying to think, does it show a picture? I need to see. It makes 5 loaves of bread. I don't need to make 5 loaves of bread because we will not eat 5 loaves of bread in the time that this is done. I know, it's just way less. So I'm going to do half of my recipe. I will put the original recipe up on the screen, and then you can base it on whatever one you would like, but it's a honey whole wheat bread recipe. So I'm just going to mix everything in my bowl. I'm going to do this all by hand, get this going first, and then we're going to continue on making a bunch of food. I got a whole list here of things I'm going to make. Do I tell you all of it now? Do you want to know all of it now? Okay, I'll tell you. If you don't, we can skip through. So I'm going to make bread for tonight, and then I'm going to make 2 kinds of soup because, you know, why not? So I'm going to make some gnocchi soup. We really like that. I bought a bunch of, I think I have the mini ones and I have a big one, so I don't know if I'll do a big one or not. We'll see. Gnocchi soup, and then I thought that's made with cream, so a couple kids can't have it. So I thought I'm going to do our potato, where's the recipe? Potato bacon chowder. So I usually do that with cream of chicken soup and dairy sour cream, obviously, but I'm going to do it, and I've been making it, but I've just been throwing things together and just whatever. I'm going to make it like the original recipe, but instead of the dairy or the cream chicken, I'm going to use cream of mushroom, the stuff that I made with my dairy-free stuff, and then not add sour cream to it. So, well, that was strange. All right, well, we lost power for like 1 second. Please stay on. There's no storm. It's beautiful outside. That was just weird. Okay, anyways, so I'm thinking to make some potato bacon cheddar with that because I've got all that bacon. So I thought I would cook some of that up, and then that would be tonight's dinner. Today's brunch, I think I'm just going to do the breakfast casserole where you take the sausage, hash browns, and cream of mushroom soup, which I have to get another one out. Did I get 2 out? I did. And then I'm going to cook that on the stove so we can have that this morning. Maybe I'll throw some biscuits in there. I might throw some biscuits in there. I should do biscuits, shouldn't I? So that will be our breakfast brunch. And then I'm going to put like a snack munchie, basically Gather Your Fragments, or you can call it a charcuterie board, but it's going to be a mixture of a lot of things I'm picking up and gathering. Things that, like we have, I think before we went to Michigan, I think it was before Michigan, I had all those tortillas, so I made all those burritos. Well, I still have 2 bags in my freezer, so I'm staring at those right now, and I'm like, they're not something somebody goes and grabs and eats. So I'm going to take them, I'm going to cook them in my air fryer, I think, to get crispy, or the oven, and then cut them up. And we've got some of that queso cheese and salsa. I thought I'm going to put those out with a bunch of random sides that I have as well. And then I've also got 1 can of crescent rolls. So I've got a recipe for veggie taco pizza I thought I would make too. So that's going to be like a gather, grazing kind of food thing for the afternoon. And then for Saturday, I'm going to do, I've got a little bit left over, I think, unless there's another package hidden, of the gyro meat. I think this is the last one. So I've got another loaf of bread still. And I thought, why don't I do cheesesteak sandwiches with that. So that way we can have the soup left over with the steak sandwiches. And again, there's gonna be a couple kids in and out, so it'll actually work out to be food. And then I'm not gonna worry about Sunday just yet because I don't know. There might be a lot left over and I might have to make, I'm trying to be frugal and not make anything. So what I have been doing is just getting up on Sunday morning, and if there's no food, I'll do some macaroni and cheese because they like macaroni and cheese. And I'll just bake in the oven. We've got the dairy-free one, and I've got our regular one we make with Velveeta. So I'll probably throw that in Sunday morning if we need to. And we've got chicken patties, like a little bit of the breaded chicken still left over, I think from 2 months ago. So I'm thinking that can be Sunday if we need it, but I won't make that today because I don't want to make it and have it go to waste. So that's going to be it's going to be a good day. It's going to be some good food, good yummy stuff to make. It's going to be great. So you guys ready? All right, let's start mixing everything in our bowl here for homemade bread. So first you're going to make your yeast mixture. So I'm just putting in, the recipe was 1 cup of water. I'm like making sure I do half a cup of tap water, and then I'm using 1.5 packages of yeast. So, and then some honey in here. So just let this sit. This will bubble up. If it does not bubble up, then your yeast is bad. So I'm hoping it bubbles up. And then we're going to go and mix in our big bowl the ingredients for the bread. I had forgot when I was putting the honey, I have a tiny little jar that I had in my cupboard here that I was using. Remember, it was one of those gifts from Israel, so I didn't want to use that up first, so it wasn't in there because it got really sticky. So then all you do is let this stuff sit. I'm waiting for my yeast to proof, and then it's ready. We're going to continue on. All right, my yeast is ready. Look at that. See how it's puffing up? So you're gonna add everything right into this bowl here. So I've got this in here, and then I'm gonna add my yeast mixture right in here. And then I'm gonna be adding in my flour and wheat germ. This makes such good bread. I just have to pay attention and do half the stuff because I like see it. I'm like, oh, 4 cups of flour. No, don't have 4 cups of flour, 2 cups of flour. So I'm gonna open this up. This is really good if you want to get healthier bread, but you don't like whole wheat. It's, you know, whole wheat, and it's kind of real, it makes a heavy bread. Get white wheat flour. It's just made from different berries, but it's a whole lot better for you. So this, and then I'm gonna add the wheat germ. It's just a half a cup I'm gonna use here. Put that in there, and then just whisk this up. So you just slowly add your flour to this, real slow. Now normally at this point, I use a whisk, and so the whisk gets coated with the flour, so I can always have to put it in by hand. But this Danish whisk was awesome. I got to use it pretty much up until the end where I just added another cup or so of flour. So that's a great little tool. Love that. Thank you, Grandma Sandy. And I brought my spatula out in case I need it, but for the most part, I just like to mix this by hand. Real simple. So just incorporate your flour into it so it's nice. You don't want it too thick and dry because that's never a good thing, just so it's real spongy. And then when I'm finished with that, I'm gonna put it in another bowl. I'm gonna grease the bowl. You could probably leave it in the same bowl, but I'm gonna do it like I used to do it back in the day because it's been a while. Grease the bowl, put the dough in it, and flip it over so it coats it, and then I'm going to put it in my oven because I have a bread-proof setting in my oven because my house is kind of cold because, you know, my window's wide open because yesterday was like 80 and then today's going to be 69, but you know, I'm hopeful that it's warm, but it's just freezing right now. So we just continue on. So I'm going to start on my breakfast casserole, but it's going to take a minute because it's sausage and it needs to cook. So that was some of the maple sausage I got at the discount store. So that is going to cook, brown over there, and then I'll add the rest of it to it. This is a good recipe, but then while I'm waiting, because I'm kind of like, okay, I'm in limbo, what do I do? So I'm going to cook my bacon. You can put it in the oven, but I've got my bread in there, so I'm going to do a couple in my air fryer. It just works. It's good. It gets crispy. It's yummy. So I've got bacon here, and I also have a little bit more I found. I think it's Evans. So it's been in there. I'm like, I'm gonna cook that. Put it in the air fryer, let it cook. It's easy. It'll just drip to the bottom of your air fryer. I don't use the basket air fryer. I don't like the basket, but I like the shelf one. Looks like a convection oven. And so I'm just gonna put it in there, let it cook, and then I'll be able to put all the pieces in the dishwasher because it's greasy and gross, and you don't have to touch it, and it cleans up really good. Over here cooking my sausage. Hopefully it's not too noisy. I know this little makes like a spattering noise and it makes the audio really bad. So hopefully it's not terrible. I tried like getting the microphone, but I tried doing different things, but I'm like, it just takes more time, and I'm like, does it really make a difference? So hopefully you can hear me. So I'm just cooking this. It's almost done. And then my bacon is cooking away over there as well. This recipe is that have cream of mushroom soup in it. It's very good. And so we like making, like, I'm going to say they call it train wreck. Basically, it's, you know, a meat and a potato and the egg mixture. And that's not bad. It sometimes gets a little dry the next day. And so this, you add cream of mushroom soup to it, and it just makes it tastier. So sometimes you put, I was just looking, it's good to use canned potatoes. I don't know, something about canned potatoes in here is really good, but I remember making that, and that was probably one of our favorite, but I'm going to use hash brown potatoes. Either way, or real potatoes, or real ones, you know, and just cut them up. But I'm going to use hash browns because I have a lot of those. And then you can sprinkle Parmesan cheese and bake it in the oven, and the Parmesan cheese gets real brown. That's really good too, but I'm not going to do Parmesan cheese because of some of my children. So, or actually I might put on like half of it or something. I might do that, because I should bake it in the oven, shouldn't I? I'll probably just keep it on the stove because it's going to be breakfast here for the kids, and this can be all ready to roll. We'll see what time I got here. Let me check on my bread. It is proofing in the oven. I might put it in there. I'm thinking out loud. I'm just going to put it on here. I'm like, well, I'm going to put it in the oven. It is good in the oven. Ooh, that's crackling. So this is almost done. I'm flinging meat over. So then what you do, you can chop up an onion. You know, I'm not going to do that. I got to get scissors. You can chop up an onion, but I'm not going to because in my cream of mushroom soup, I know there's a lot of delicious spices, and we made a lot of good stuff in there. So this, I have to debate how much to make. I'll just do half of that bag. Yeah, that'll work. So if you did an onion, that would be good. Garlic is really good in here, but like I said, that's all inside of my cream of mushroom soup, so I'm not going to. So I'm just going to fry these up here. And then I'm going to whip up some eggs over here, and then I'm just going to put the cream mushroom in and add it all together. It's really good. It's delicious. And then I'm going to do, I was like, I have a couple biscuits still, like frozen ones, so I'm going to put those in the oven and bake those. So if they want to put this on the biscuit, that's really good. But if not, then we'll have a couple biscuits too. Perfect. Okay. Let this fry up. I'm going to go put this back in the freezer. Okay, if you wonder what I was doing one of my egg containers. My pumpkin had, when it was thawing in the refrigerator, had spilled over. So a lot of the liquid had just fallen down the refrigerator, you know, which was awesome. So I thought it was just on the top shelf, and then I just realized it went down to my bottom shelf where my eggs were. So I decided to clean it up. So the egg carton had that inside of there, so that's why I was switching over the one to the other one, because it was actually clean. It's all good. Okay, I'm gonna add some salt and pepper to this. Season with salt and pepper. Do layers. Layers is something I've learned. And then I'm going to whip this together. Does she do this with milk? She does. I'm going to use the oat milk. This is our new favorite. I mean, not mine, but like the kids. solid. What do you do with that? It's frozen. Let me stick it in the microwave for a minute. So my eggs are done. Delicious, delicious, delicious. I'm gonna take my bread out of the oven, even though it's not ready, and just set it right here. This I need to move. Just set it over here. It's gonna get heated. Hopefully not too hot. I might have to move it over from the oven because I want to cook a few biscuits. So I've still got some whole ones here. I'm only gonna do 8. I feel like that's even too much. 8's gonna be good. And then I'm gonna put it in the oven here. I just turned the oven on to normal time. Is it 375? So those we can eat with the eggs. That's gonna be delicious. Perfect. This will be breakfast right here with the biscuits for breakfast, brunch, whatever time everybody eats. So then I'm gonna start on my food. Bacon's still going. Bacon's still cooking. I got the last batch in there. It's great. Okay, I'm gonna start my soup, my gnocchi soup. So for this, I'm gonna chop up some onions and carrots. And so one thing I wanna share is, you guys always ask, where do you get the good knives at? Which knives do you like? And you guys know I have these are my Rada knives. I've had these, look at, you can tell, they are so worn. These are what I use mainly for all my chopping needs. I do have a couple other ones, but these are my ultimate favorite. So it was pretty cool because Rada company, the knife company, reached out to me to see if I wanted to share their products, not a sponsorship, to share the products. And I was like, you know what? I have so much stuff Rada. I was looking through their website and I'm like, I have the knives that I use. I actually have the Rada washcloths. I didn't realize these were the washcloths from there. These are from the Amish store, and I got some last time and I bought more this time. And so I'm like, absolutely, I'd love to share it. And you know why? Because you guys asked me, where do you get your knives at? And I'm always like, the Rada knives, look for them. And then we went to the Mennonite Amish store. I showed you guys, they had like a whole section of knives. And so I thought it was really cool. I'm like, that's pretty cool to be able to share, because then it gives you guys a discount code for if you want to get some knives. And so they sent me 3 knives. So this is the one, and it was cool because they gave you what they actually are, so you know what they are. So they gave, don't mind that, they gave me the cook's utility knife. They all come in this little sleeve like this. It maneuvers like a paring knife, but you can use it more like a big giant one, which is cool. They also gave me I don't think I've ever had, now I've had the pair, I'm trying to think, I've had the bigger one. I don't think I've ever had the cook's utility. So this was good because it was things I don't normally buy, because you go there and there's like a gazillion choices. Like, here's the, you can go to their website, I can show you, and here they have like, I mean, this is just, they had just have every knife you can imagine. So when I went to the Amish store, they just had sets and sets of these, and I'm like, what do you even get? So I thought that was pretty cool. And then one thing I've never had before was a tomato slicer. So this is pretty cool. I wonder if you can chop anything else. I'm sure you can. Crusty rolls, pepper rings, cucumber rounds, and onion slices. Ooh, some onion slices, that would be really good. So that would be really good. And then they sent me the granny paring knife. This I used to have before, and I loved it because it's curved. Like I have, you see the new knives versus my old ones, because I wash mine in the dishwasher. Do not wash them in the dishwasher. I'm sorry, it says hand wash only. Dishwasher is what I did. So I have the paring knife, the regular one, and then this one's a little bit bigger, and then I have this a little bit longer one. These are like my go-to favorite knives of life. And so then this one I like because it cuts bread really nice. But I'm anxious to try this with the bread. I know it said crusty rolls, but we'll maybe, I don't know if it'll get crusted bread, we'll see. So I thought that would be really neat, but this is the other knife I really use too. So I don't keep a lot of knives because I'm like, you can get a whole set, but I'm like, what do you actually use? So I always cut things, you know, like I said, I cut my veggies, but the curved one, the granny one, it would be how I cut when I bring things back all the time. You're gonna see me a little bit do my potatoes, and I'm gonna use this one right here. So I thought, oh, it's good to have this one back again. So thank you, Rada, for sharing those knives with me. Thank you for giving my viewers a discount. So again, not sponsored, not getting any income from it, just sharing so that you guys can get a discounted on their items. And so go check out their website. They have a ton of stuff, like I said, washcloths, their scoopers. I had to laugh. I'm like, I have some of their scoopers and like their spatula things, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. I didn't even realize they were the Rada brand, Rada knives. Rada, I'm gonna say it correctly. So I'm gonna chop up right now an onion so I can saute it over here with some carrots for our gnocchi soup. Something about a new knife. I forget how nice knives cut when they're brand new. So remember, get yourself a knife sharpener and just keep those. I use the diamond blade one, and I got it from Lowe's, and it keeps the knife super sharp. So just remember, you think it's sharp, and then you're like, no, you got to do it a little bit sharper. So make sure you get it really, really sharp, and then you'll have a brand new knife all the time. And these are my knives. I've had the same knives forever. They've definitely got lost, ruined. You know, the tip was bent by some children or something. And I've replaced. I think a few years ago, Erin, you sent me a couple knives, and it's been a few years, but it was because they had gotten, worn or lost or like just disappeared, and you're like, where are my knives at? So children take knives and they just disappear with them. Somebody used it as a screwdriver or something, or like some kind of hammer or something along those lines. So, but it's good. So I'm thankful to have some and to be able to use them. Okay, I've still got bacon cooking over here, so I'm waiting on that. So I'm just gonna put in here some olive oil. I like this little doodad thing. I got this one at Amazon. I didn't really like the clear ones. I feel like they show all the fingerprints and everything. Even though you look close, you can see all the fingerprints. But when it's dark and it's away, you don't see any. So I feel like that's a good thing. So I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna heat this up. Let me get my onions and carrot. Now it'd be really good to have celery. I don't have any celery again, because I didn't buy any. Let's choose. I usually like the short spoonfuls. Let's try a big spoon. Let's see if that makes any difference. I would just go for like the medium-sized one. We'll try that one. Okay, this is can you see? You probably can't see. There we go. Okay, this is in here. I'm going to add my chicken to it. This is all probably frozen. More than likely, oh yeah, frozen solid. So this would be chicken from, remember the chicken drumsticks and then the white chicken? I put that all in there. So I'm gonna put this in. Let me get my chicken broth out. I think these are done. I didn't want to use my good hot pads in the air fryer because they just get all greasy. So I will use this in here. Good, we got some biscuits right here, so this is perfect. Let's see, I'll just set this right here. Set those right there, and then over here my bread is puffing up. It's not too hot, right? You just gotta make sure it doesn't get too hot. I think right there is okay. And then this we're just gonna let come to a boil. I'm gonna add, I'm supposed to add thyme. I'm gonna add Italian seasoning because that's what I have. And then you should add fresh spinach chopped up, but I didn't want to buy a big container of fresh spinach. I was just gonna freeze it, but I thought, is it cheaper just to buy frozen spinach? So it probably is cheaper to buy the fresh and then just freeze it, right? Because I think it's like $3 a huge bag, but that's okay. I just got a small bag of chopped frozen spinach, and it works. So we're just gonna let this come to a boil. When this comes to a boil, then I'm gonna add my gnocchi to it, and then it just takes a few minutes. The gnocchi will kind of come to the surface. Then you know they're done, and then I'm gonna add half and half because I have half and half that I bought for my the Tim Hortons ice caps that I made yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yes, yesterday. I'm thrown off if I did it a different day. But real fast, remember the pumpkin spice stuff I made? Ooh, that was a game changer for cold coffee. So I made a cup yesterday. Maybe I'll make some today. I will make some today. I put some in my cup. I brewed some hot coffee, like strong, and then I added my coconut milk, and then I had caramel drizzle. It was good. So maybe I'll make some today. We'll see if I can have it before I end the video, but that was really, really good. Yesterday I was like, ooh, that definitely is a game changer, the homemade syrup. So I might be doing that for a cold coffee because I always buy those $5 ones from Starbucks because I'm like, that's my treat, but I made that sauce and it didn't take very long, and I'm having coconut milk and my good flavored coffee. So I thought it'd be really good. Starbucks has the apple one, and my apple macchiato is really good too, and I have an apple streusel coffee from Mavericks Coffee, so I'm wondering I could probably make some kind of apple flavor too. So I might put that on my list to do because I feel like that would be really, really delicious. So perfect. Let's come to a boil. Keep going. Okay, so I feel like my soup is not looking colorful enough. I'm gonna add some mixed vegetables just because I like those. Just a little bit added to my soup, just a little bit. I'm gonna have the green stuff in there too, but from the spinach. I feel like I need a little more veggies in there. I don't mind not, but I feel like I'm gonna put those in there just because it's good. Let me add a little bit more. Okay, so this is gonna be good. Let's make sure it comes back to a boil here. And then, you know what I told you I was gonna do, because I like this pot to cook on, but I should have just put it in here, but I feel like that's gonna be pushing it size-wise. We're gonna see. I'd like to put it in here just to keep it so it can stay warm. So, is that gonna come back to a boil? Just because I add the frozen vegetables to it. So this is mini gnocchi. I thought that was really neat. So you basically just put this in here and let it come to the surface to boil. It's gonna come back in just a minute. This is really good. You can make your own homemade gnocchi too. Maybe in time. This was 59 cents for me, so I didn't have to make it. It was already there. It was good. So just put this in here, and then it will start boiling. Kind of pull it apart, chop it up here. It'll start coming to the surface when it's all done. So let me put this away. Okay, can you see this here? See how it comes to a boil and the gnocchi's kind of floating up to the surface? Then you know it's done. So it just takes a few seconds. It comes up and it's good. I'm gonna add some spinach. We're doing chopped frozen spinach. Does it make a difference? I don't know. I think it all wilts the same, right? So I think it's okay if I just have that. I think I'll just do half. Like a thick soup. So to me, I like this nice and full. And then I'm gonna add some half and half to it. Perfect. This is done. So you could let this sit, use a different pot, but I think I'm gonna use the same one. So I'm gonna place it in this one. I don't think all of it will fit, so just give me a few minutes here to scoop up. There's a chunk of frozen spinach. Make sure your spinach is all separated before you start. We'll get there. We'll get there. You know, I'm gonna fill these first, and I can probably pour. Make sure you get down and get some like hardiness of it, and then get a little bit of the top. Otherwise, you're just gonna have a bunch of bowls of empty soup where it doesn't have all the good stuff in it. This is really good. I think this is my favorite soup. All right, now I think you can just pour it. Get your hot pads. Perfect. I could probably put one of those back in there. We're gonna go like this. Look at that. Okay, here's some soup. I'm gonna let this sit because this will have today. Let me wash this. Okay, now I'm gonna make potato bacon chowder. Now I've done my different version of this over the years. I'm gonna try to keep to it kind of similar. It's got only 2 potatoes, which I'm gonna add to 4. I'm gonna add 6, but they're like smaller ones. So like 3 large potatoes, I figured. So I've got all my bacon here. It's funny, this is the kind that I got at the discount store. It's definitely restaurant quality. It's like good pieces. And then this was like consumer. Look at the color. This was a different one. That was, yeah, definitely different. So I think if I kind of remember and remind myself, always get the restaurant one, not the consumer, because it's just sad. It's sad looking, but this is really good. So I will chop some of that up. For this, I'm gonna cut up an onion real quick, put it over here on the stove and saute it, and then I'm gonna peel my potatoes with my granny peeler, which is exciting, and then just do everything over here. It's gonna be real simple. Oh my goodness, I forget how nice brand new knife is and how great this was. I haven't had the curved one in a long time. I used to, but I haven't in so long. This is awesome. It just literally glides over the potato. It's like butter. Absolutely love it. Now I'm gonna switch over and use the other knife just to show how it works for chopping up the potatoes. I'm gonna start with my soup and I'm letting it cook it's boiling right over there, the potatoes, and as soon as it softens then I can add the rest of the ingredients. But my bread dough is ready. It could probably rise up a little bit more, so I might punch it twice. Do I punch it twice? I'll just rise in the pan. So let me punch this down and I'm gonna form it into loaf. Okay, so I've got this. Don't mind Ruby. She's barking away. I'm cooking all this bacon and delicious smells. I'm sure the bear is smelling it and loving life. So these are cooked here. I put some chicken bouillon in here to make it, because otherwise you had cream of mushroom chicken soup. I don't have all that added in there, so I'm just added a little bit of that. I'm gonna add my bacon in here, and then I'm gonna add cream of mushroom because I made this with pulled up dairy-free milk, so that's gonna have to go in there and unthaw a little bit. It's almost thawed. So that will add a nice flavor to it, and then I'm gonna add some milk. I'm gonna add oat milk to it because we like the oat milk. And that's gonna be good for our potato bacon chowder. This is gonna be really delicious. Hear her howl. That keeps those bears away. My bear doesn't dare come down. It's been coming. It's staying away from the top because usually it comes down from the top of the mountain and comes back and eats the trash, but there's no trash, so I haven't seen it by the house, but it does go down the front of the yard. And I was talking to a neighbor and they said that, oh yeah, I saw the bear coming across my property the other day. So I'm sure it's the same one. Making its rounds, looking for that good food. So, okay, that's kind of good there. And then I'm gonna add the oat milk. Let's see, I'll see how much I add. And that's gonna be perfect. And then I have extra bacon, so when they go to eat this, they can put, so it's a little, the problem is the cream mushroom makes it like a little more brown versus like whiter with the cream of chicken, but it's okay. It's still delicious. And then they can put bacon on top, and then they can also put sour cream in it. You're supposed to add sour cream to this, but I am not going to because of the dairy issues. So we're getting there. We're learning the dairy stuff and what's good and what's not. Just takes some time. Okay, let this kind of heat up here. Okay, this one is done. Perfect. I'm gonna shut this off. Keep this one covered. I'll probably just leave this one in this pot until after supper tonight. So now I've got a couple more things I'm gonna make. I turned my oven back on. I forgot I had to bake something. So I'm gonna get out. I've got some crescent rolls. Did I get it out? No. I have one can of crescent rolls here. Yes, they are crescent rolls. Are they crescent rolls? So I'm going to make something. When the company sent me the knives, they sent me, one time in the mess everywhere, one of their cookbooks. Kind of cool. Look, always a positive when they do that, and it looked really good. So it's got easy weeknights, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, easy meals. So I just happened to look through there and I thought, let me see if there's anything to make. So I saw this veggie taco pizza. I thought this would be neat to make and gather up some fragments and use stuff. So they used a pizza crust, but I'm going to use crescent rolls. So I'm going to put this on here, bake it, and then I'm going to mix the rest of the stuff together and put it on top, minus the cheese. Maybe half and half. Maybe I'll do some half and half cheese. So this will just be something different to make. So to have for our little munchy spread in a little bit. Working on a bunch of stuff. So the crust is in the oven. What I'm gonna do, this is the last of the gyro meat. It's like when you have a ton of it, you're like, oh, there's so much in there, nobody likes it. Well, then when you don't have it for a while, they're all like, oh, I love that. So it's good to be able to space out your meals a little bit. We got these in the summer and they were good. So I'm gonna do cheese steak sandwiches because I feel like that would get eaten up and I think that would be good. So I'm gonna try to keep these in pieces, like whole pieces, and then I'm just gonna open up my hoagie, this stuff, not my hoagie, this bread right here. I have one loaf of this. I'm gonna cut this up, cut this open. I'm gonna put the meat on there. I'm gonna put cheese on. I'm gonna label it. I'm gonna label it with my toothpicks and put dairy-free cheese. Hopefully I have regular cheese. I just thought about that. I think I do. Like, yeah. So Ruby, she's going. I gave her a piece of bacon. I went outside. I was like, Ruby, all her first day enough, and she's just howling up there. And I went out there and I'm like, you are a good watcher. Thank you, Ruby. So she had some bacon. She thought that was very delicious. So this, let me just keep this rolling here. Let me get my bread cut open and then I can just come over here and assemble it. Can I just do it over here? Yeah, let me just do it over here. Let's try this one. Perfect. Okay, so I decided, I'm gonna fill this full. I decided instead of, I mean, it should be easy to tell because the cheese is a little bit different color, but I put white provolone cheese under the regular cheese, so that way when we go to cook it, and I'll be able to go, oh, the white cheese, that's the part where it's not the dairy, obviously, it's the other kind, so that's gonna work. So I was gonna do like layers. I thought it'd be good to layer the meat and cheese. Just a cheesesteak is cheese and meat. When we went to the airport, we were flying one time, we had a Philly cheesesteak. It was full of cheese. It was like dripping liquid cheese. So yeah, get that over here for a few minutes. Perfect. Awesome. This is a great one. And I only had one piece of bread, so I made it so huge. Let me take you back over here. Okay, this is humongous. So I think I'm going to cut off the other side. I was going to keep it attached, but this is a really good knife, by the way, for cutting crusty bread, just like it said. So I'm going to cut through so I can place this on top. Look at that. Just like that. Perfect. And then this is going to be wrapped in foil. Okay, moving right along. Another thing I'm gonna do, gather fragments. Lemonade, bought this in the summer and did not drink it. Yesterday it was so warm outside, like so warm. I was sitting outside in the sun. I pulled the chair up and I sat out there and I was like, this is so nice. If I had a pool, I'd be on the avocado right now. But I know it wouldn't last because, you know, it's gonna get cold again. But it was so warm outside and I was like, I'm just gonna embrace this. So I'm gonna make this last little bit of lemonade here. I don't ever add limes to it, but I have. Let's do the tomato slicer. Ooh, look at that. Look at that cuts good. So I never have I don't add this to my lemonade ever. Maybe for pretty view showing, but not just on a regular basis. I just had this lime to get used up. Bought some limes here in the refrigerator, but this one was sitting out. It's time to do something with. So I will put that in our lemonade so you know it looks all pretty. Lime and lemon. It's a good thing. I'll just place this in the refrigerator. This will be something we can drink maybe while we're sitting outside today. Okay, I'm gonna finish up this veggie taco pizza. Let me take pictures so I put that recipe on the screen when I'm editing. This is, the crust is over there cooling. Just gonna put, I don't think you need, I think you're supposed to put it all together and bake it at one time, but you know, I'm gonna do a little different. So it's a can of refried beans and it says just to add taco seasoning, a whole packet. Oh, it says an ounce of taco seasoning. Is taco seasoning packet bigger? Let me go look that up real quick. I felt like that was a lot. Nope, it's still not. The reason why I had to look is because I have some taco seasoning from, hold on, look at this stuff. From one of our packages of tortillas, like those little cups. Remember the cups? We had that the other night. I didn't film that when we put them together. Those were really fun. They were hard to, when you assembled it, you wanted to put all your meat in the bottom and stuff on top, and then you go to eat it and eat the veggies down to the meat. So we kind of like had to turn it outside or layer it, but it was really fun. The kids liked it. I definitely will get more of those because they thought that was pretty cool. So it's refried beans, taco seasoning. Let me pull this down. And then you just mix this together. It said to add oil, but my beans have a little bit of the oil in it, I see, so I'm not going to do that. This will be interesting. Okay, spread this over the crust, then sprinkle with black beans, olives, tomatoes, corn, and cheese on top. Interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna take a little break right now. I've got all of my stuff done that I wanna get done this morning. The bread is over here. It is almost rised up. And I'll put it in the oven in a few minutes and bake it for 30 minutes at 350. And then what I'm gonna do is get my kids' school, get life that I have to get done here, because it'd be great to cook all day, but you know, I still have to do life. So we'll have breakfast and biscuits and stuff. And then what we'll do is I will make the little munchy kind of thing, which is going to be this thing. I'm going to put this together. I guess you don't know what I'm doing. I'm doing this. I'm going to do the burritos, and I'm going to cut those up with the queso. And I'm going to put, what else? Some grapes out, some carrots. I've got some cookies, and is that it? Maybe my green beans, pickles, and apples. Just like a little grazing thing for like a lunch, midday snack. So I'm going to do that in a little bit when it gets closer, because it's still earlier morning. So we're going to get our school done, all that fun stuff. So I'll be back in just a few minutes to show you the rest of the stuff. Okay, so we finished up. I got to edit a little bit of today's video and did school with the kids. So they were hungry, and I said, give me a few minutes. I'm gonna get all the food out. So I already put everything out and together. Didn't film any of it because I realized there was a lot of footage for you. So let me move over here. This is what we've got right here. So I've got some Asian snack mix. I've got my like Madeleine cookies, pickles we cut up, some veggies, some crackers, and meat and cheese, grapes. This was the pizza. I didn't realize that dairy cheese does not melt. Does it? I didn't know that. So it's good. It's good. It'll be good. That's a little pizza. And then these were the burritos. So it's just more about using them up because we have to eat them. And then I have queso they can dip in. And there's also some salsa right here. So, and then we have, we still have cookies. We have bread. Still got lots of things. Then over here, the other bread is done. I didn't let it rise up really big. So they're a little flatter, but they're good. Nice and soft. Takes me back to the good old days. So there's, see how flat. I should have let that in the bowl rise up more, but that's okay. It's still gonna be delicious bread. So this is it. We've got all our food. We got soups for dinner tonight with the bread. Put a sweater in because it's freezing. Tomorrow we'll have the cheesesteak sandwich and we can have some soup. And if there's anything left over, we'll eat it for the rest of the weekend. And if not, then we'll make mac and cheese and the chicken patties on Sunday. So, all right, so you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Remember, you are designed, you are created, and you are selected by God to do great, wonderful things. And I will see you guys again tomorrow with another video. Okay, see you tomorrow. Bye.